So look, my daughter, I assume most kids started school here recently. So my daughter went back and started back to school. My son is homeschooled. And she missed half of last year because she got taken out to be homeschooled for whatever, health reasons, whatever. So when she got back, after the first day of school, I picked her up. And she was telling me, my friend was, kind of catching me up on the scuttlebutt of what happened. If you don't know what scuttlebutt is, I'm sorry. I was catching her up on all the drama and things that went on. Sorry, I'm adjusting things on this mic. That went on the previous year that she missed out on. So she goes to tell me. So apparently some girl, decided to send a little spicy something to a boy she liked. Which, that's kind of just the way it is now, these spicy pictures and shit get sent around all the time. So it's probably more common than most things these days in life, but it is what it is. So she was telling me, she sent this video, and she sent a video. She didn't just do pictures. She did the whole nine, did the video and everything. So she was telling me in the video, what this young lady did was, she put peanut butter, and I'm not going to say the vulgar term of where she put this peanut. She put the peanut butter in her area. She put the peanut butter in her area, and she let her dog lick it off in the video. Okay. And then sent it to the boy. Of course, he showed everyone in the school. And some other shit ensues. My thing is, look. What? Why? Why can't we just do normal shit? Why couldn't a nice nude, just some normal shit, even start light? If you're gonna do it, start in the panties or something. I mean, in panties and bra. What are the kids doing? What are the kids doing, and what's going through their mind? Like, you can tell. Like, look. First of all, why did we think that was sexy? I don't want to see that from a grown woman. If a grown woman sent me that'd be the last time me and her had any type of communication. Like, what? The dog? No, we not. Oh, no, we not. Why was this the go-to? Please tell me there was a lead up to this. Like, hey, did he say he liked this? Like, this was his thing? I mean, obviously not, because he showed every fucking body. That could be just because he's a kid, whatever. I don't know. But what in the hell are these kids doing these days? I do not understand. Can you imagine receiving that? I mean, you wouldn't look away, obviously, because it's so fascinating, and like you couldn't believe that this would be actually happening on screen. But then you're like, why is this a thing? Why is that a thing? I'm in so many ways. I'm happy I grew up when I did. Because if this is what's going on out there, this is what's going on out there, I'm glad I didn't have a part of that. I don't want any parts of that. And the other thing, okay, even if you didn't like it, why are we showing everybody? What are you doing? Is that the last nude you want to get for your school career, sir? Because all the females want to know now. All the females want to know you just spread them around. You just ruining shit for your own self. yes, I do agree that particular one was worth showing everybody because this is how crazy it is. Can you imagine being the parent to come in and sit down and talk about that? I'd die. Like they're sitting there, like they're trying to explain, like, so okay, in the video, there's peanut butter. There's peanut butter, okay. And then do you guys have a dog? Because I hope this wasn't just a random dog. Do you guys have a dog? Okay. And then there's the explanation of it, and you just don't like. And what do you say? What do you say to the principal that you have to explain this to? What do you say to the parents of the kid I'm sure you got to talk to? What do you say to your own daughter in that situation? I don't know if I'd have words. I'd be at a loss for words, and I'm never at a loss for words. I'd have to kill the dog. I'd have to get rid of the dog. Like I would come home and I'd just have to bury him in the backyard, kill him and bury him. It's so unfortunate. Kids these days are crazy. It's just wild. That's the go-to. Anyway, this is the JC Weekly Podcast, episode 35. You can find me on all social media platforms. Just look for JC Weekly. I won't go into anything more in depth than that. Just look for my name. I'm everywhere a lot of times. You'll see me. I'm doing things, posting stuff here and there. Speaking of social media, and I've mentioned this before, how I've been really winging on social media here recently. And I'm still there, but I thought about something here. There is there's ebbs and flows in everything in life, it seems. And it's always things come into popularity, then they kind of go out, and then they happen to come back. Think of the skinny jeans. They came into popularity. They were here for too long, or they shouldn't have been here at all. Either way, and now baggier jeans kind of starting to come back in. The thing I wish would go away and never come back. Actually, I wish it never started. This will be my thing. I wish it never started. Is filters on pictures on things like Instagram and whatnot. Now, when I say filters, let me clarify by saying, the filters on Snapchat, people like to use where you you make yourself into a puppy dog or some shit like that, or whatever. You make yourself look 102 years old, and they're for the laughs, right? Those are for ha-has. Those are. I'm fine with those filters because I'm talking about the filters that a lot of females like to use to make them a little younger, smooth out their skin a little more, hide any minor blemishes they may have that they think are major, things like that. I wish those had never come along. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish they had never come along, for multiple reasons. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's the reason." The biggest reason's got to be because it's kind of lying to a man and whatever they see you online, and then versus when you get to come in real life, so I'm saying that's not even my biggest problem with it. That's not my biggest problem. My biggest problem is I think that it is adding to the mentality in women that they're however they look, their looks aren't good enough, or some little small blemish that makes them look ugly and they're not presentable enough, or whatever it may be, that they need to mask it in some type of way. And that mentality, I think, it runs rampant. And I've talked about this, I feel like, multiple times, because I guess I'm passionate about appreciating yourself, appreciating who you are, no matter what is going on with you. This is added to, and the thing is, like, generally I can always look at a picture and tell it's a filter on it, but sometimes you can't. And young females might see these people like, oh God, she's so beautiful, so on and so forth. And really she's outside of the filter, still a beautiful woman, but not to the cartoonish effects of the the filter. There's reality beautiful, which I prefer. Reality beautiful, like actually being just naturally beautiful, and then there's filter beautiful, which is still looks great just as a static image and looking at it, but the more you look at it, you're like, gosh, I could have gone without the filter. But the thing is, when women want to put that filter on, like, like even as you get older, that's like as you age and wrinkles and whatever might be going on with your skin or this, that, and the other, and like you feel the need to, like, oh, I have to de-age myself. I have to look the best as possible if I'm putting this image out into the world, caring what people think. I mean, I understand we all care what other people think, but I wish females could just look in the mirror and see what they look like and just appreciate it for what it is. And not be like, start nitpicking and picking out things about, their bodies or their faces. Like, oh, I'll have to I'll throw a filter on to hide that. It's fine. It's no big deal. Like, let's not do that. And the thing is, I'm sure I'm picking on women. I'm not picking on women. I'm singling out women. I'm sure men use filters also for the same exact reason, but they're probably predominantly used by women. Now, if we're talking, the whole thing about, it's disingenuous, a guy will say he slides in your DMs in Instagram off the strength of how you looked in your pictures. And then you meet up and it ain't quite the same. Now, some boys, I'm going to say boys because men don't react in this manner, but some boys are going to feel away. I'm like, oh, I was, they're going to start using words like catfish and shit like that and say I was lied to, they comparing the reality to the Instagram filter and whatnot. That's not the biggest problem. It's silly stuff. Here's the thing. I wish we could get back to, and it's funny that the term like 90s fine is so popular now. And I almost like people saying, oh, she's 90s fine. Like when people say that to someone, I feel like they're almost using it as a backhanded compliment. Because it almost feels like a backhanded compliment. It's kind of like finding a beautiful woman and like, oh, she's living in her beauty without filters, and she might have maybe around my age or so. You call her 90s fine instead of just saying she's a beautiful woman. Like, oh, you're fine like a woman from a bygone era, right? Because there was no filters then. I mean, yes, there was airbrushing and whatnot on like magazine shit, but they wore makeup. Women wore makeup forever. But Generally, there's no filters back then in the 90s. But it's to me, it's a backhanded compliment. But no, don't call anybody 90s fine. You're a beautiful woman, so just say they're a beautiful woman. Here's the thing. I would love every picture I see of a woman posted without any filters. I'd love to just get rid of the fucking filters. Because the thing of it is, I don't think I still don't. I know it's them and how they see themselves. But the thing of it is, if they think about it, and I know they're not there to appease us as men. It's about how they feel about their own self-confidence about themselves and their own image. The thing of it is, hey, baby, when you post that picture, I'm not picking out every blemish, every wrinkle, every mark, whatever. Bags on your eyes, whatever I'm not picking out all that. And I don't think actual men in general are. We're taking note of the beauty of your smile and how it makes us smile. We're getting lost in that. We are staring deep in how bright your eyes are. How bright your eyes are and how full of life they are. And how so captivating that is. And then pulling back from, these things, just taking in the whole picture. Like those little minor blemishes, that's what they are, is minor. Paying zero mind to those. So I'd love for filters just to go the fuck away. Because it definitely has built a society of women, girls, whatever, females. By the way, speaking of females, did you know? Apparently, females saying me calling a woman a female is like a derogatory term. I did not know that. And so I needed to dig a little deeper on why that is so. Apparently, it's because the term female can be used for things not just specific to humans. It could be, female dogs or female cats or whatever animal you want to pick, females, whatever. There are connections that would be like, a female adapters, that can be used in that way. So they're not specific to humans. So saying female is kind of degrading. That's not how my feeling. This is what I've read. This is the education I got on this particular subject. Calling someone a female, I guess, is taking away from the humanity of, they'd rather be, I guess women is, which is fine. I'll call you whatever fuck you want to, but I do find it kind of odd that we've all of a sudden gotten upset about the term female. I mean, you can call me male. I don't care what male's fine. I mean, I'm good with male. I mean, whatever. But you think about things like when people get upset about this shit, think of every document that exists that you have to fill out something. It says male and female. I mean, are we going to get to a point where we stop saying male and female, but it says man and woman instead, or are we just what are we doing? I don't know. Anyway, that was a side note I just kind of slid into. I can't even remember what I was, where I was with the initial topic, but I think I said my piece on it. I was thinking of something today, actually. And I think I was trying to remember if I had actually talked about this topic before. And I think I have on another episode, but I guess I have more to add. So I'm kind of going to possibly treading old ground, but maybe not. I just can't remember. It's about having like goals in your life. Like, when people say, "Oh, do you have a 2-year plan, 5-year plan?" What are your 5 year? What do you where do you want? What do you want to be in 5 years? For some reason, this popped in my head while I was reading today. I don't know why. I'd been asked before, and what's my 5-year goal? I don't have any, and I couldn't figure out. And the person I was talking to told me her goals, and she had 5 year, where she'd like to be, what things she would like to happen in her life by the 5 years from now. And I thought that was great. She had great realistic and attainable goals, and I'm like, why don't I have those? Why don't I think in that way? And I remember telling her I don't have any, I guess. And I was told I should probably think about that. So I kind of never did, to be honest with you. And today just randomly popped in my head. And this must be the way I'm built and my way my mind works, I think. Because I was like, yeah, I don't think that far ahead when it comes to life. It's almost the idea I don't know if I'll be alive in 5 years, but I don't ever say that to myself. That's not how I feel. I assume I'll be alive in 5 years, but I guess you never know. But I don't think that far ahead. When a goal enters into my my atmosphere in my mind, I focus on that. My goals, the farthest out they go is a month. To be honest, they're very short-term goals. If it's something that I need to focus my attention on and get done, and I want this to happen, and I want this to get done, it's always a short-term goal. It's always a month, or the next 6 months. It's always very short-term. I can never go too far out. There's tasks I know I would like to get done. My mind just stays on that, and I'm laser focused on that. And that's what my mind is always thinking about. And when you have a 5-year plan, it's kind of a gradual thing. It's there in the back of your mind. You're hopefully working towards it over this long period. But with me, it's mine's got to be closer. It's got to be attainable, and it's got to be closer to now. And so when I get focused on that type of stuff, that's what I do. And people, they have 5-year plans. It's always a house or be married and, something, of that degree. And with me, it's very much okay, I need to get this done. And I want to get this done. And it's almost even though I have a lot of patience, I'm a very patient person. It's almost as if I can't patiently wait for something that far out. I will just take life as it comes, and it's kind of, honestly, I know I do think that way. I'll just take life as it comes, and we'll just see how this turns out. And it's always kind of the funny thing I think about when I was younger, when people oh, what do you want to be grow up? I never knew what I wanted to be grow up. When I fucking got a career, the same career I am now, I think about it, and I'm I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm 45. I still don't know, I don't know what kind of career I want to be in. I'm 45 and I've been in the same career for 20 some years. I'm still not, I just don't look ahead like that and have set those aspirations and goals, I guess. Even though I do have them. It's another thing. It's kind of the same thing with it's kind of the same thing with relationships. I will be laser focused on a relationship or an infatuation or a crush or something. I'll be that particular person will cross my mind a lot more, probably than I would like to admit. A lot of times through my life, and so it's actually I don't like saying that. Like that phrase I feel like is kind of also a backhanded compliment when, like, when you say you think about someone, I think about them more often than I'd like to admit. Why wouldn't I want to admit that? Why wouldn't I want to admit that? It's the truth, and it's how I feel. It's how I feel, and it's how I feel about them. And like, if it's someone or they or whatever, scoffs at that or finds it weird, hey, that's on them. Like, I am fine. Anyway, I'm really sidebarring a lot here. Going off on a tangent. But yeah, it's the same thing. Relationships, like, I gotta focus on the short term. I'm taking short term chunks, and it's probably why I never see like, oh, I want to be married, or I want to find someone, or I want to do that, in a certain span of time. I almost feel like I don't know if it's because I don't want to be disappointed. I don't think it is. I think it's just the way my mind works. I think, at least I hope so, maybe. Like, I'm just taking life as it comes without expecting something greater than what it is. And hopefully I can live a life that I'm proud of with little regrets, because everyone has regrets, but hopefully I can live a life with little regrets I can be proud of. But the thing of it is, like, at this moment, like, to be honest, 45, I'm halfway through. Maybe I could have done things better, and I do want to do things better going forward. Is the goals thing a way to do that? Or do I just take it as it comes and just keep going and just like make other small minor adjustments in my thinking and the way I conduct myself? But yeah, it's weird that just kind of popped in my head today about having the goals and everything. Who has goals out there? Like 2-year plans, 3-year plans, 5-year plans? Who has those out there? I'm gonna tell you what I do want to do is it's something that I think has plagued me a bit through my life, and I may have missed out on things because of it. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Or is, I'm an overthinker. So a lot of times I overthink situations and I think them into. I can see what I want a situation to be, whatever we're talking about. I can see what I want it to be and what I want it to become, and that's where my mind is at. But sometimes, like, the fear of taking the steps that would push it that way holds me back. Right? Like, I'm a more probably fearful person. Is fearful the right word? I'm a more fearful person, I think, than my personality and my especially outwardly looking at me personally would make someone think. And most people wouldn't think I'm an overthinker either. So, but yeah, that's another situation thing. Another thing I've been thinking about quite a lot here recently as well. And this podcast is just turned on. Basically, you're my therapist, and I'm here just spilling my fucking guts. And actually, I'm not spilling everything. There's a lot more I could say, but I don't because this is a podcast. But yeah, let me know if you know what everyone thinks about filters. The kids these days and their weird peanut butter and dog obsessions, and your goals, which may be a repeat topic. I don't know, but let me know. Because I'm like, I would love to see multiple people's 5-year plans and like how they differ. Because I feel like a lot of people's 5-year plans, a lot of times they want to, be at a different space with their job, or maybe be at a different job, doing a different career, doing a certain thing. They want to have gone back to school and, started something different. They want to, be a fiance or be married, with their spouse, or just have someone. They want to have their own, they want to have someone have their own house. I feel like those are all the general, 5-year plans, which I think are all great plans. I think that's kind of the dream for most people, to be honest with you. I'm curious if anybody has a 5-year plan that, maybe bucks out of those a little bit. And maybe something a little more eclectic, But I think, I think everyone wants an exciting life until you get to be an adult and you decide, hey, the excitement is like a little bit of pockets of excitement here and there. And then you just want a normal, comfortable, happy life. And that's kind of what those wishes are for, which, there's nothing wrong with that. And I agree with it. Problem is when you get, my age and say you have regrets and maybe how you've lived your life up to this point, you feel like you've wasted so much time. And yeah. Anyways, this was the JC Weakley podcast. Follow me anywhere and everywhere you see my name, JC Weakley. Until next time, peace.